Hey everyone, Bobby here from Garmin, excited to have the opportunity to go over the brand new Force Current Kayak trolling motor with you today. So let's head on back to the stern of the boat and dive right in. As we get a closer look at the motor, I just want to point out how easy it is to remove the motor from the back of your kayak. This is also the best time for me to point out the industry standard 4-hole mounting plate that the Force Current mounts to. So just like taking it off, we put the motor back, align it, it drops down, and it's important to remember to tighten the security knobs on the side of the kayak to ensure it doesn't go anywhere. Next, you'll just have to add in the pull line to raise and lower the motor from the seat, and then we can take a look at the connection for the power cable. These motors are capable of being ran on a 12 or a 24 volt system. There's a simple and easy depth adjustment collar that allows users to raise or lower the trolling motor shaft to accommodate a wide variety of kayak installations. The Force Current comes with two props. It comes with a weedless and a high efficiency prop that are both easy to install and replace should you get a little bit carried away in the rocks. So as we take a look at the top of the trolling motor, you can see a few different indicator lights that will be illuminated when the trolling motor is on and connected to power. First, we have a light that will indicate whether or not the trolling motor is in pairing mode. This is necessary when we're connecting different accessories like man overboard tags, wireless remotes, or the wireless foot pedals. The second light is going to indicate whether or not the trolling motor has good connection to satellites. That's really important when you're using features like heading hold or anchor lock. The next is the battery indicator light. While this doesn't necessarily tell you the exact percentage of your battery, it's just a great indicator of knowing what's going on. It'll either be green, yellow, or red. This light here is a prop on indicator light and just lets you know if the prop is spinning. And the last is a man overboard tag indicator that lets you know that your man overboard tag is connected. Now, let's go ahead and head to the front of the kayak where we can dive into some of the included accessories. The first accessory we'll talk about is the one that's included with both models of the trolling motor, and that's the trolling motor remote. This is the same exact trolling motor remote that you've come to know and love from all of our other trolling motors that we've come out with over the year, now just designed for the kayak angler. Now, my favorite part about the Force Current and what makes it unlike any other trolling motor on the market is the optional wireless foot pedals. These allow users to simply and easily navigate waterways that they're cruising or fishing while not having to worry about wires or cables getting in their way, and allow them to operate their motor completely hands-free. With the included mounting brackets, it's easy for you to find a position on your kayak for these foot pedals to be mounted. These tracks allow you to easily move the foot pedals forward and back to find the most comfortable position for them. There are also adjustment screws that allow you to kind of set a baseline of where you want your feet positioned when the prop is not engaged. And there are indicator lines to allow you to get that same angle from both foot pedals. You might have noticed there's a few different buttons on the side of these foot pedals. These allow you to hands-free engage either anchor lock or heading hold out of the box. With there being a few different wireless accessories for the Force Current, sometimes these devices will need to be paired to the trolling motor, whether it's the foot pedals, the remote, or the MOB tag. That can easily be done by pressing the power button on the trolling motor 3 times, and then on the foot pedal, for example, pushing the anchor lock button 3 times as well. Now, once that's done, the system recognizes the foot pedal and lets it know that everything is operational and ready to get out on the water. So give me just a second, I'm gonna get this kayak on the lake and I'll see you there. Okay, well guys, now that we've gotten to take a few minutes and catch some fish, I figured we'd kind of just take a moment and go over some of the features of this trolling motor and how they benefit you guys as anglers. So first off, we'll start off with the wireless remote. So this remote it provides you a lot of great features and control for the trolling motor. This first button here is called cruise control. When you're cruising at speed, it'll maintain that speed without you having to adjust the throttle. This top right button is labeled as turbo, and when you double press that button, it will engage the trolling motor at max speed. The button that I just pressed engages the trolling motor prop. As you can see, it's got a little spinning icon here, and this button right next to it is gesture steering. So when you press and hold that button, you're able to point the remote in the direction that you want the trolling motor to go, and it will get you going. So it's a great way to make easy, fluid turn adjustments without having to press each of these arrow buttons. So with that, these arrows, the left and right arrows, allow you to turn the trolling motor to the left and to the right, or you can press and hold and make quicker, more dramatic turns, as well as the up and down arrows is what lets you adjust the prop speed. This button right here is called heading hold. So if I was to press this right now, it is going to mark the heading that we were going towards when we engaged, and it's just going to do its job and do the steering and keep us going in the direction should we get pushed off course from waves like we're encountering now, or wind, or things like that. It's less adjustments that you're having to make while you're fishing. And then this little anchor icon here, of course, is anchor lock. When you press that, it's going to mark a location for the trolling motor to sit there and hold you on, so you don't have to worry about messing with the remote or the foot pedals or anything like that if you're wanting to stay stagnant and, you know, work a specific brush pile or a specific point without the wind having to kind of push you around or get you off course. We have these three lines here which dive you into the settings. This little button here marks a waypoint on a compatible Garmin chart plotter, and then these numbered buttons allow you to program different screens on your chart plotter and make changes to those displays without having to reach and lean forward and make those changes on the MFD. So as you can see, while we're still in heading hold, you can make heading adjustments and change the direction that you're heading. Real simple, just with those arrow keys, and then we'll disengage the prop as we're getting closer to an area that we want to fish. You'll see a couple of icons at the top of the remote. One's the battery status indicator, just similar to the one that's on the trolling motor. It's just giving you information as to you know, the status of your battery. Green's good, yellow's be aware, and red's it's time to kind of head back, and will actually give you as you're monitoring the status of your battery throughout the day. And then you also have a GPS signal strength indicator to just let you know how well you're going to perform in your current situation. A great feature on the force current is reverse prop spin, and you can actually manually engage that. So if you double tap the prop icon, you'll see this arrow turned red, and now the prop speed is also red. If I engage that, the trolling motor prop is now spinning in reverse backwards. This is great if you, you know, let's just say if you came in a little bit too hot on a bank and we're really wanting to slow down your momentum or make minute adjustments about where you're positioned, that's a great way to do just that. Another thing that's really nice, you know, with these arrow lock, you know, there's a feature called anchor jog, which allows you to make adjustments in 5-foot increments with the remote. So if I wanted to have the anchor lock location be 5 foot to the right, I can click to the right one, and it's going to scooch me over, and then we'll do it again, and it's going to add an additional 5 foot. Now I want to dive into, as I said, one of my favorite features, and that is the wireless foot pedals. I want to kind of discuss the two different types of steering controls and how they operate, and how you can change them in the remote. So if we hit that settings icon, we go down to settings, trolling motor, steering mode, you'll see right now we're in zero turn. So this trolling motor has 2-foot pedals, and zero turn works exactly like the name implies, like a zero turn lawnmower, where if I push forward on both pedals, we're gonna go straight. If I lift up on the left pedal, I'll turn to the left, and if I let up on the right, I'll turn to the right. I'm even able to engage manual reverse prop spin by pushing down on my heels, and that makes it really super easy for me to make those back up as I'm approaching a target. So if we go into steering mode, you'll also see a steering mode labeled rudder steering. So once we're in rudder steering, what that does is it almost works kind of like the opposite of zero turn. If I push to the left, I turn to the left. If I push to the right, I'm going to turn to the right. And then same thing, I push forward, we go forward. So, both of these steering modes are really intuitive and easy to use, and kind of allows users to find the steering mode that works best for them and what makes them feel most comfortable while they're out on the water. Okay, so I moved just a little closer to the MFD here just so we can kind of go over some of the features that are available to you, from your compatible Garmin Chartplotter, and it's pretty much everything that you kind of see on the remote. You're able to adjust your prop speeds here with these plus and minus arrows. You're able to engage the trolling motor. Since we're a little low, it's not too powerful, but we can make turn adjustments like this. We can engage anchor lock, cruise control, heading hold. You can monitor those heading hold adjustments like here when we engage heading hold. We'll go through and make those heading adjustments, as it's kind of figuring its way out and kind of stabilize. Then you're able to dive in and kind of make those turns more. You can still view your battery status icon right there, and then dive into all your kind of settings, your things like that. If we're looking at things, the calibration process is the same as it was for our conventional trolling motors. You'll have to, kind of do like a turn and a half with the boat. That's pretty straightforward. And then there's some calibration for the remote as well. You'll see this feature called anchor gain. And why that might be important is, we're out on the water right now. Things are pretty calm. The wind, anchor gain when it's holding us onto a spot. When you crank anchor gain all the way up, like if you're in rougher conditions, the trolling motor is going to work more to keep you in the place that you marked it to, rather than a little bit more relaxed. Navigation gain is the same thing, whereas when you have heading hold engaged, you might not immediately correct in the direction that you marked when you engage a heading hold. So it just allows you to, if conditions aren't rough, these you'll just dial around with depending on the day. Okay, now I've reached a point in the day where I'm kind of finished fishing this cove that I've been in this morning, and I'm ready to move to another part of the lake. What's great about the Force Current is when it's paired to a compatible chart plotter, you can go in and create auto guidance routes for you to follow, so the motor and the chart plotter will communicate with one another to get you those routes and get you where you're going. So what I can do is mark the area that I'm interested in going towards right down here, click auto guidance. Now it'll give me a general path for me to follow, but since I'm in a little bit of a smaller boat, I don't really have need to run out towards the main channel, so I can adjust this route as I see fit all the way along, but really I'll just mess with that one line for now. So once that's done, click done, start navigation, engage the trolling motor, and turn the prop on. Then you can kick up the prop speed, and as you can see, it's automatically getting us on our way, headed towards our desired destination. We dove in today, we got beyond the basics. My name's Bobby from Garmin, and I hope you're able to get out on your kayak and catch more fish.